Folks, thank you for coming back after the break. I tell you, we're just so excited that all of you came, and really pleased with all the excitement and the energy that we feel in this room. Everyone who spoke, who contributed to the conversation, it was so positive and so direct and so real. So thank you. This project, it's really going to be a great successful project because you're going to make it that way. And just thank you again. We're delighted today to have with us the Assistant Secretary from Department of Commerce, Henry McKoy. Henry, thank you for being here, and please come and share a few comments with us about our efforts here today. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Well, first of all, I just want to tell you how wonderful it is to see all of you out here today to come together on this morning to celebrate this kickoff of sustainability for the Piedmont area region. The Department of Commerce really feels like sustainability is a key driver for North Carolina's future. I'm a lifelong resident of North Carolina. I was born and raised in Fayetteville, went to the University of North Carolina, live in Durham, work in Raleigh, and get around the state. And so I know the state pretty well. If you look at North Carolina over the long term, if you look at around 1960, we had about 4 million people. By around 1990, we had 8 million people. 2000 or so, currently we're right around 9.5 million people, and the population will continue to grow. We're expected over the next 10 to 15 years to grow to about 12 million people. So we know that development is coming, but the question is, what kind of development is coming? Is it going to be the same kind of sprawl that we talk about, the same kind of disconnected transportation and where you work and where you live? Or we're going to be a little smart about how we design communities. We're going to be a little smart about how we integrate all these factors in order to make a more sustainable future. I think that's the key, and that's why efforts like this are so important. You are, as you know, one of 2 communities in the state that got these grants. And I got a chance to see all of those proposals, and they were excellent proposals. North Carolina really is at the forefront of thinking about how do we integrate sustainability into our work, how do we integrate sustainability into our world. And so why is that important? Well, the 20th century largely was what folks consider the American century. That means, America grew, we built subdivisions, we built cars, we built manufacturers, we did textiles. I mean, you all know here, you made furniture for the world, you grew the economy. And we exported to the world. We invested around the world. We helped educate communities. We sometimes bombed communities and then build them right back up. I mean, that was the 20th century. Well, we moved into the 21st century, and the 21st, it went from the American century to the global century. And essentially what that means is that if you look around the world, the standard of living started growing. Education rose, and those jobs started moving over to those places because now the cost of labor were cheaper and you could get the same productivity, et cetera. And so we as a country, as well as a state, have had to figure out how do we adjust to that movement from the American century to the global century. How do we maintain that leadership? How do we maintain that key focus on innovation and competitiveness, making sure that our quality of life, our standard of living can rise for us, for our future generations. But somewhere along the line, as technologies infused the world, as education rose, as jobs started flying around, and we became this global economy in this global century, somewhere along the line we hit a curve where we went from the American century to the global century, what I'm considering the sustainable century. And that means that as you look around the world as the standard of living rises, we understand that resources are finite. We understand that we have to figure out how do you simultaneously raise the quality of life for as many people as possible without destroying our planet. How do you make the world a bit smarter than we have built in the past? And so as I move to a close so that you can stay on schedule and do some of this great work, I think it really comes down to this idea of how do you design the community of the future to integrate sustainability throughout everything that we do. How do you design it in a way that makes sure that we are thinking about our competitiveness in the future? For example, we talk about things like green jobs, we talk about things like the energy economy. Well, if you want to grow an automotive industry built on plug-in hybrids and energy saving cars and things of that nature, you got to have plug-in stations, right? A plug-in station is not something that happens at the federal level. It happens at the community level. You have to make that decision that we're gonna make these moves forward. And so the community at the local level really does aggregate up to drive this global economy. And so as you think about how you play a role in this, as you become leaders, because we're all watching, the North Carolina Department of Commerce, the governor, the state of North Carolina understands why sustainability is so key to our future. So as you do this work, I want you to think of yourself not as just citizens of this community. I don't want you to think of yourself as just employees of the Piedmont region or folks who live in this area. I want you to think of yourself as artists. The reason I say that is, how many of you all can name 3 companies that were started 150 years ago, 200 years ago? We got one person right there. Well, most hands didn't go up. However, most of us know who Leonardo da Vinci was, Michelangelo, Rembrandt, all those. Well, Michelangelo said centuries ago that the reason he put so much effort in his art, the reason he put everything he had into it, was because he was trying to achieve immortality. He wanted to put all of his effort into his work so that it would outlive him and that it would exist for centuries to come. So people could look back and understand probably who this man was. But I think we should think of ourselves as artists as well. Every day that you wake up, everything that you do, every bit of passion that you put into your work can live way beyond you. It can be here for future generations, and they can look back and understand who we were and that we made the right decision when it was time to make that decision. And so I want to leave you with that thought that we really are artists in this greater context of sustainability. The story is not yet written. The canvas is still waiting for that brush. The song is not yet sung. And we all can be a part of that. And I think today is important work. You're launching with a lot of excitement. We're here as a partner with you to run this journey with you. And you have our full support. So I thank you very much and good luck with the rest of your work today.